What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. Right now we're going to be looking at the co-main event between Caio the Natural Borralho and Armen Superman Petrosyan. But before we start, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out. And yeah, let's get right into it. What you think, Jeff?
All right, we got Caio the Natural Borralho. He's 11-1, 29 years old. He's 5'10". He has a 75-inch reach. He's coming off a win against Omar Gashiev. And before that was a win against Jesse Murray. And he's going up against Armen Superman Petrosyan. He's 7-1, 31 years old. He's 6'2", 71-inch reach. He's coming off back-to-back wins against Gregory Rodriguez and Korleyan Kolev. What you think?
I think this is a good matchup. I actually hate this matchup because I don't like seeing fighters I like go against each other. And
Right.
both these guys are Contender Series alumni. Both had really good fights. Both guys had really good last fights, but Iho kind of, he was expected to be the weaker wrestler against Omar Gashiev. He actually had a huge advantage on the ground, in the jiu-jitsu department and in the wrestling. First takedown Gaji got, he was able to reverse it and then kind of rode him out like the rest of the fight. And then Petrosyan, it didn't go as easy as he stood up and pretty much boxed with Gregory Rodriguez, who's another tough fighter coming up, right? And, he took a beat down, but he was able to kind of pull through with his volume and with his toughness. He really pulled through. So this is a really good matchup between two rising guys. I think, obviously, Caio is a little younger and 29 years old, but Petrosyan at 31, I feel like he's still just hitting his prime. I think both guys are really good strikers. Caio, obviously, he's a little more like karate stance fighter. He likes to be light on his feet, almost Wonder Boy Thompson-esque. He can switch stances. In his last fight, he took up a southpaw stance because I think that's what he wanted. That was part of his game plan. Yeah, but he's very light on his feet. He's able to throw kicks, elbows. His punches are really fast. He likes to bounce in and out of range. For me, I just think he's really smart. I think his fight IQ is really high, and that's funny because he almost lost his last fight because he kneed the guy in the head. But besides that, I feel like he really showed how good he is in how he trains.
Yeah.
He always fights smart, I think. And I think we're going to see that here, to be honest. Yeah, he trains with MMA nerds, and I really like those guys. I feel like they really think about how they're going to fight, not just in-game, but like what the game plan is. And we've seen Caio stick to it multiple times, and he's good. He's very well-rounded. Yeah, I think Caio's just better overall. I think his wrestling is solid. I think his jiu-jitsu is way better. Yeah, I think his wrestling is better, too. I think it's going to be a good fight. What do you think about Petrosyan's chances?
I think he still has a pretty good chance. I do think Armen Petrosyan is pretty new still. I feel like in his fight against Gregory Rodriguez, you could tell how green he still was. Mm-hmm. Especially with the boxing. I felt like there was a lot of holes in his striking defense.
Okay.
I felt like Gregory Rodriguez was exposing him kind of that way, but Gregory Rodriguez was not aggressive, and that's why he lost that match, because of volume. I think if Rodriguez would have really turned up the volume, even round two, he would have stole the whole match from him. So, but yeah, Petrosyan, I thought his wrestling was okay. It wasn't anything great. But do you think this fight's gonna go to the ground? Do you think Borralho?
Yeah, I do think. I actually think that's the path of least resistance. Caio and his team, they do a lot of homework. And I'm pretty sure they see that Petrosyan's, the chink in the armor, I think, is his grappling, especially his wrestling, Obviously, I don't think Caio's the best wrestler, but I think he's a solid wrestler, and his jiu-jitsu is really good, I think. And so I think he's going to take him to the ground. I think Petrosyan is going to have a hard time keeping him off of him. And then I think once he gets taken down, I think Caio's going to work for a sub, and I actually do think he's going to get it. I just think Armen's a little too green on the ground. And so I hope by submission. I think he's going to get the sub.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting, but I just think Petrosyan's ground game is going to is like a chink in the armor. I don't think it's that bad, but I think Caio and his team are going to be able to take full advantage of it. He's super well-rounded, I think, and yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the Petrosyan fight against Kolev, the Dana White Contender Series win. That's the one where he was pushing him up against the fence and grappling with him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he didn't look that great, but he was holding his own there. Mm-hmm. But then again, when you think about it, I don't know. I was about to say that was against the Dana White, the Contender Series opponent. Mm-hmm. But Borralho, what is
Armen's 7-1, Caio's 11-1. Mm-hmm. That's pretty green, I think, for both guys.
Yeah.
But I think it's Caio, the one that's been able to put everything together so far. Petrosyan, I think, is solid. I think he's still going to... I hope they don't cut him. I don't think they will, but I think I see him making a good run too. But I think right now, as of this moment, I think Kyle is a little better overall, and I think he has the easiest path to victory, which I think he will exploit.
All right, but who do you think is more durable? Because I feel like Armen, he really showed that he's like durable,
Yeah,
that he
he's
could really
super
take a
tough.
hit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if Caio took a really big hit in one
He
of his
took like
fights.
1 or 2 in his last fight that landed pretty clean, but I don't think he took anything big. I think. So you're talking about standing? I think standing. I mean, he's really good defensively. I think his stance and his movement really lets him move in and out of danger. Basically, I don't see him really getting hit with anything big. I think Armen is freaking huge, bro.
Yeah.
And so that's my biggest gripe with it, or my biggest my biggest gripe with it. I think that some guys can defend takedowns with just strength alone. And Kyle's listed at 5'10", but I swear that's not right, bro. Because in his fight with Omar Gaziev, he was listed as a smaller fighter, but this dude looked humongous next to him. So somebody lying. And another thing that I'm a little worried about is Armen's stance. It's so wide and it's so low, and I feel like that's a pretty good takedown. I mean, a pretty good stance to stop takedowns. Because you're already low, you're to stop any singles. But Kyle, he can get his takedowns. Not just by, wrestling, but, trips and stuff like that. So I'm going to still go with Kyle. I can see Petrosyan maybe being able to stop the takedowns, implementing his fighting style. But I just think if it comes to that where Kyle cannot take him down, I don't really see Armen really running away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to stick with Kyle by submission.
All right, what concerns me is that Caio, I think he's going to apply the pressure. And I think as we saw in the last fight, Petrosyan, he didn't really do well when Gregory was like coming forward and really like stuffing him. So, but I think I'm going to go with Armen Petrosyan. I think get the dub with this one.
How though?
Probably decision.
Okay. I mean, so yeah. I mean, there you have it. We both disagree on this one as well. I think Caio Borralho is going to win by submission. I think his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu is going to be the key here. I think he's going to be able to exploit a chink in the armor of Petrosyan right now. Jeff thinks the opposite. He thinks he's too durable and what else? And yeah, that he'll be able to get a decision win. But let us know down below what you think. Both guys are still pretty green. Which one you got? Who do you think and who do you see winning? Let us know down below. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We're actually doing the main event and the opener for this same card. So don't forget to check those out if you haven't. And yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. Don't forget to tune in, and we'll see you next week for Ortega versus Rodriguez. Another great fight, and yeah, we'll see you then.
Yep, see ya.